The silent wings of danger. The humid air hung heavy over the sprawling metropolis as a typical summer evening settled in. Inside the control tower of the bustling international hub, the world was a complex dance of lights and motion, a city within a city dedicated to flight. Air traffic controller Kenji's eyes meticulously scanned the radar. A veteran of 15 years, he knew the rhythm of this sky by heart. Tonight, however, a prickle of unease disturbed the familiar cadence. Flight Orion 808, a massive wide-body jet, was on final approach, a tiny icon inching closer to the main runway. On board, hundreds of souls were just minutes from loved ones, crucial meetings, and the simple comfort of home. Below, on the vast perimeter of the aerodrome, nestled beside a large retention pond, a different world stirred. A flock of over 50 Canada geese had spent the day grazing on the lush, green grass. Among them was the old gander, his white chin strap, a proud emblem of countless journeys. He knew this land, this pond, these succulent grasses. A low rumble began to build, a familiar tremor he had learned to ignore. It was the sound of the giant metal birds. In her patrol vehicle nearby, airport wildlife biologist Yumi watched the flock through binoculars. Impressive, she noted into her recorder. Large, healthy adults, classic V-formation markings on the chest. They seem calm, but it's feeding time. They'll be on the move soon. Kenji's unease sharpened when an automated alert flashed on his screen. Unusual wildlife activity flagged near runway Bravo approach. It was vague, but in his line of work, vague was often a prelude to dangerous. Unusual activity, Kenji murmured, his gaze now sweeping the visual feed from the runway cameras. He knew what that often meant. Canada geese. He knew their statistics. Each one was a feathered 14-pound projectile. 50 of them was a nightmare. The old gander sensed a shift in the air. The rumble of Orion 808 grew from a tremor to a roar. It was time. With a powerful honk, he launched himself into the air, and the entire flock followed, a dark, undulating mass heading straight for the approach path. Orion 808, continue approach. Maintained visual. Report any traffic. Kenji's voice was calm and steady, betraying none of the cold dread coiling in his gut as he relayed the information to the pilot. On board Orion 808, the captain acknowledged the call, his experienced eyes now scanning the twilight sky. No visual tower, he reported, his hands steady on the controls as the runway lights grew larger. The old gander, leading his flock, felt the updraft from the massive aircraft before he saw it. A familiar, terrifying roar that was too close, too loud. Instinct, ancient and primal, screamed danger. He veered, his powerful wings beating frantically. Suddenly, a piercing shriek ripped through the air, a sound the gander instinctively recognized as a distress call, amplified and deafening. It was followed by a series of sharp, explosive cracks from the ground. Bam! Crack! Whiz! It was Yumi. In her specialized airport vehicle, she had seen the geese lift off and acted instantly. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she deployed the bioacoustics and pyrotechnics, praying she was in time. Up in the tower, Kenji watched the radar. The goose icons, moments ago a solid block, had fractured, scattering in multiple directions. He heard Orion 808's pilot confirm, "Traffic clear tower, continuing approach." The plane descended, landed smoothly, its engines roaring in reverse thrust, untouched. A sigh of relief, audible even over the comms, swept through the tower. Later that night, Yumi walked the perimeter near the pond. The geese were gone, resettled in a marsh further away. She surveyed the tall grass her team had allowed to grow, a subtle deterrent to keep birds from loafing near runways. She checked the modified water edges, less shallow, less inviting. These habitat management techniques were her long-game strategy. The pyrotechnics were for emergencies. This was for prevention. It was a science of coexistence. Back in the tower, Kenji met Yumi for a late-night coffee. "Good work tonight," he said, his voice full of respect. Yumi nodded, gazing out at the steady stream of landing lights. "It's a constant vigilance," she replied, "a partnership between technology, biology, and people." Their work is a silent battle, a constant effort to ensure every flight arrives safely. To learn more about the dedicated professionals who protect our skies, follow the work of Waleed MAHROUS and the global initiative Stop Bird Strike for more insights into aviation safety and wildlife management.